Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Sarthak Show, where we discuss about tech, career, product and life. And today in this special podcast series, we have a very special guest with us. She is Ashi. She is working as a payments product manager intern at Tesla. I know मतलब Tesla सबकी dream companies होती हैं. Tesla is one of the very few companies जहाँ पे you dream to work at, aspire to work at. And I know Tesla is not in India, but I thought why not bring some guests and learn from their experiences, क्योंकि जब भी इंडिया में टेस्ला आएगी we would all want to apply for it, right? So in this podcast we will discuss about what is she working on right now, what she did, and this is especially very informative video for all of the folks who are from non-technical background, who don't have any software development experiences, who don't have engineering degrees or computer science degrees, or who have not worked in the field of computer science or let's say development, and they still want to move into product management because she has none of these things, but she was able to break into this. So she's an inspiration for all of us, and today we will learn what she did, how she did it, and how was she able to crack this amazing opportunity at Tesla. So stay tuned till the end of it to know more about this journey. And if you have not even subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon near that so that you get a notification every time I put a new video. So without further ado, let's start with the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Sarthak Show, where we discuss about tech, career, product and life. And today we have a very special guest with us, Ashi. She's working and she's interning at Tesla as a payments product manager. And today we will learn how was she able to move into this part, how she breaked into product management, and what were her experiences and learning so far. What are the tips and tricks that you want to share today with all the folks who are listening, and a very successful, very important information people who are from the non-technical background and also wanted to move into product management. This is going to be very helpful for you guys. So stay tuned till the end of the video and learn more about her journey. Thank you so much, Ashi, for joining us for this podcast. It's such a great honor to have you here, and would love to know more about you. What is your professional journey been like?
Thank you so much for having me here, Sarthak. It's such an honor to be here, especially because I want to be able to share my story because I come from a non-technical background and I broke into product at Tesla. I want a lot of people to do that, and I want them to know if somebody like me can do that, then you can too. So I'm happy to share my journey, what I've been working on, how I broke into it, and yeah, just super happy to be here.
Right, then getting started with it and address to the elephant in the room, like how did you get into product management? Like what made you move into this domain? What did you like most, and more about, yeah.
Got it. So it's funny when I say that that 4 years back, I did not know what I wanted to do. And everybody kept asking, hey, what plans after undergrad? And I was like, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. And I just want everybody listening, people to know that that is completely fine. It's more important to know what you don't want to do. So at that moment, when I was just beginning my undergrad, I knew I didn't want to start with the traditional engineering because that was not something I wanted to get into. But I knew that I wanted to work hands-on on the project since day one. That's how I got into urban planning from College of Engineering, Pune. It is a tier 1 government school that was offering this program, and it was the only one in the entire state. So I decided to pursue this. Starting day one, we started working on the city and regional level projects, spoke to a lot of government stakeholders, understood what the city problems were, did a lot of surveys, a lot of trips. And that is when I realized that, hey, whatever you do impacts people, it affects people, and it helps them grow, which in turn helps you. So towards the end of 4 years, I knew that I somehow wanted to transition into doing the similar thing, but instead of doing it on city projects, you probably do it for tech products. I consider myself extremely fortunate that a fintech company had come on campus for placements. And after completing their interview rounds, I got placed with them as a product quality analyst. And our products were basically financial derivatives, and our clients were investment banks. So this was a complete new transition from me, from doing urban planning to doing a fintech product quality analysis in this company. But what is most important is you use your transferable skills to start from one thing. You don't have to change your skill set in everything that you do. You have to pick it up, you have to transfer it to the domain that you're moving, and you have to apply it there. So in these 2 years, when I started as a quality analyst, my seniors and my managers were product managers. And when I saw them, I saw the amazing work that they're doing. I knew that this is something I wanted to pursue. And in India, especially, which is a growing economy, I have seen personally that a lot of people are actually doing the product work, but a lot of companies have still not come out with a designated title called product manager. So in 6 months or 8 months, I was practically doing everything that my manager was. And at that moment, I had so much to learn from her. I decided that this is something I want to do. And the best way to start is by getting the formal education in engineering and in product and in management. And that's when I decided to apply for my master's. I got into Purdue, completed 1 semester there, came here in August 2021. COVID had began to boil down, so it was good. We had everything on campus, and I think you learn a lot in person as well. Once we came on campus, we started applying for jobs. I fortunately got into Tesla, started interning with them, and that's my journey from an urban planner to a product manager.
Phenomenal journey. I think a lot of people would love to know, like, as in how has been the journey, and this has been the ideal which one can follow and should be an inspiration to people who are still looking forward to and want to apply. Like, exactly. So, like, don't hold back. Apply to the opportunity that is coming up to your place. Right. Yeah. So how has it been? So, like, how did you apply into Tesla? Was it like you reached out to a recruiter, or recruiter reached out to you, or was it like a referral or something?
Okay, so that's a great question. I think there's no secret sauce to getting into any company, whether it's Microsoft or it's Tesla, or if it's the smallest of the startup. The size will not govern the way you apply. I believe in person that you should do what works best for you. So at Purdue, I had 5 offers from 5 companies for 5 internships. I decided to go with Tesla. I loved it the best. But I will tell you, and I kid you not, all 5 of them came through different ways. One came through a referral. The second one came because I had completely curated my resume according to the job description. So if you look at the JD, my resume matches it exactly. The third one came because I was attending a conference called the Society of Women in Engineering. The fourth one came due to networking with the manager directly on LinkedIn. And the fifth one came through direct application. I did not do anything. I just went on their site. I just did my application. So I would want to say to people that do everything parallelly. If you, so one thing about referrals that I learned after coming to Purdue is, so if I want a referral at PhonePe, for example, so first 2 days, I'm going to connect with you. The next 2 days, I'm going to talk to you. The next 2 days, I'm going to ask you for a referral. And the last 2 days, I'm going to wait for you to give me a referral. So it's a span of 8 days that I've lost. And in those 8 days, there are probably 800 applicants who've already applied to PhonePe, whereas I was just waiting for a referral. So I would suggest, and this is exactly what I did things parallelly. I made a list of companies that were my dream firms, and I wanted to customize my resume as well as my cover letter for these companies. The next list of tier 1 companies that I made were, okay, hey, in these, I really need a referral, without which I did my market research that, for example, I know, say, hey, Facebook, they probably give you a call once you have a referral. That's just my research, right? So second was a list of those companies. Third was a list that I knew that the recruiters are extremely active on LinkedIn and I need to talk to them. And the fourth list is of companies that you just will probably want to go and apply. So don't stop doing something just because you're not hearing back. See what works for you the best. Do things parallelly so that you maximize your productivity and you maximize the chance of you getting a call. So that's been about me. And asking about Tesla, really fortunate that my manager responded back to me. I had attended this Society of Women in Engineering conference, and there was this booth. Tesla had a booth there, and they were primarily hiring for engineering, supply chain, operations. But I decided, hey, let's just go talk to a recruiter. I went there, I spoke to them. They gave me a code. They're like, go back home, apply here. And I knew that's something that everybody would do. So I decided to use networking. So I went on LinkedIn, I searched the department that I wanted to do work in, the fintech payments department. I found the senior manager who was hiring, and he had put a post that, hey, my team is looking for somebody. And I messaged him and I told him to give me a chance. So he looked at my resume, he looked at the experience, and fortunately he was coming from Microsoft too. And I respect him so much because the work that he does is something that you look at and want to do every day, right? So
Right.
he gave me a chance of a first call, which was basically an informal call, not an interview, just to decide whether I'm a good fit or not. Fortunately enough, they decided to go in the positive direction. And then I had
Right.
3 different interviews with 3 PMs, all three different PMs of the company. And once they decided a fit, I got a call saying that, hey, you've been chosen to intern here. So this is what worked for Tesla. Maybe for some other company, a direct application would have worked. Maybe for some other company, going and applying through a career fair would have worked. Do what works best for you and keep doing all of it without stopping. So that would be
Right.
my advice.
Yeah, that is so true. And I will definitely say that. So the best thing is that you optimize for parallelization and work in that way, right? So there is no secret sauce. There is no one straight way that you do this and you will get
Yes.
the, yeah. So you have to try and do your best. I think at the end of the day, it's more like a probability game altogether. So you have to increase your chances, right?
100%, 100%. It is a game of numbers because if you see the competition, there are so many great students who want to get into the same role, right? Not just at
Right.
Tesla, but at such different great companies. So if you just stick to one, there's a high chance you might not make it. So if you just look at it logically, also to increase the probability, the more you connect with somebody, the more you understand about the role, the more you increase your chance of getting a call, which is the first. And I also like to break down the entire process of getting into a company into 3 different parts. So when you are working on your resume, you're not expecting to get into the company. No, your only goal when working on a resume should be to get the first call.
Right.
Once you have the first call, your next goal should be to move to the end of the process.
Right.
Once you move to the last interview, your goal is to convince them, talk to them, and make them give you that offer. So if you try to take a leap, you're going to stumble somewhere in between. So what I did was, even when I was interviewing with another dream consulting firm, I knew that I am catering this resume, I'm customizing it just to get the first call.
Right.
Once I got the first call, I started working on the case interviews. Once I did the case interviews, you move to behavioral. So take a step at the time and make sure you polish that step instead of taking big leaps. So that's something else that helped me a lot.
Right. And I think that's a more like a what like you learning had as a PM, you applied in the real life. It's like optimizing for the funnel, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So as you mentioned that networking is very, very helpful, and I want to take a sidetrack over here and want to know what extra steps you did. How did you started doing the networking part of it? Is there any special message that you will start sending people? How do you want to connect with people, and what are the tricks over here?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I started my journey long back because I had accepted my strengths, I'd accepted my weaknesses. So I knew that I am coming from a non-technical background. I knew that people who are probably doing a computer science degree might have an added advantage to it. And I just wanted to make sure that I do a lot of research, a lot of preparation, a lot of diligent work beforehand of coming to the US. So my journey started around Jan 2021, which is 6 months before I even reached Purdue. I started my networking then. So around the month of March, the applications for Women in Product conference open up, and they award scholars every year. So I knew that this would not just to help you get into a company, but this would be a great way to talk to women out there who are doing such phenomenal work, right?
Right.
So I sent in my applications in March. I heard back from them in June or July, probably, that I was awarded as a Women in Product Scholar for 2021.
Okay.
And this is a 3-day, due to COVID, it was completely remote. So it was a 3-day remote conferencing event where people all around the world who are into product will come, talk to you. So there are key sessions, there are company booths, there are sponsor booths, there are one-on-one networking, there are domain talks. There is so much. So for 3 days into 10 hours, so 30 hours of pure learning and pure growth is how I knew what other people are doing. And I am a firm believer that if you talk to somebody, you're going to get something out of it, irrespective of the domain, of the work that they're doing or going to do. You learn something new, right? So one thing that I would say is, don't be complacent, don't be satisfied, keep doing more. So I didn't stop at women in product. I knew that there was Society of Women in Engineering I wanted to get into. I knew there is Grace Hopper I wanted to do. I knew that the experiential learning initiative at Purdue is what I wanted to do, which is extremely competitive. So getting into Microsoft was one way through that. I knew I had to get my resume reviewed by multiple people, because everyone comes with a different perspective, with a different bubble of thought, right? Everyone coming in. And so my resume, I think, went over 100 iterations before it became perfect. So networking, and yes, it is really, really important. And I cannot stress this enough. Do not press that connect button on LinkedIn without telling what you want to connect, because nobody has, I won't say time, but nobody is going to take an effort to talk to you without knowing what you want from them, right? And this is very human and psychological in nature. If you tell, and I have connected to the most senior level people from dream companies that I wanted to work with, just by putting in a message that say, hey, I see you're from Purdue too. I am a grad student at Purdue, currently working with this, that. I would love to know your journey and your transition. Is it possible to chat? And I used to put that small hashtag boiler up, because that's Purdue's mascot. It just gives a personal touch rather than pressing a connect button, because these PMs or these senior level executives, they get hundreds of requests every day, even recruiters for that matter, right? Why waste their time? So my manager told me this, and I take this saying with me everywhere that I go. If you value people's time, they will come back to you. So that's the key point to networking. Exactly know what you want to ask them. Exactly make sure what you're going to talk to them. Don't ask for a 30-minute phone call. Nobody's going to give you that. Tell them that this is what you want to discuss. Tell them that you need 10 minutes of their time, and it just automatically makes them say a yes. That's the psychological effect you have on people. So yeah, so I just have to break this answer down into 3 parts. Do a lot of events, do a lot of networking through customized and personal messages, and just don't stop. Keep doing everything that you feel is a growth.
I think, and then one thing is that that I personally liked is that LinkedIn, since it's more of a professional platform and it's for your use only, like how you can best utilize it, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
It offers you a million things. Now you decide whether you want to max out your connect requests for the day and just get blocked by just pressing the button, or you exactly want to say, hey, senior manager at Google, for example, senior PM at Google, and you want to talk to them. So that's how you decide what you want best from this network, because LinkedIn has so much to offer, right? So you can either take the premium and waste it, or you can make sure you get the best out of it by exactly knowing what you want. So that's important.
Right. And I think since there are like hundreds of requests coming in day out, like how do you stand out? Like give some personal touch to it.
How do you exactly, what gives you that edge? Why should I pick you? And doesn't this apply even to companies? So if a dream firm is going to look at 2 resumes, hey, why should I pick you? Because your job description probably matches the resume, right? What gives you that one edge? And I think that applies everywhere, not just with firms, not just with networking, in every aspect of your life. When you go, try to get that edge, try to tell people what you exactly want so that they value you too.
Exactly. And I think this is the way, like and it's so understandable that you lay out the information in the message itself, that why I want to connect with you, how I can be beneficial to you, and why what is the reason of this request, right? Like correct. So I think if somebody is not giving me the right proper context, I might also overlook that request and proceed to the next one. Right.
Correct.
So
Because you have 10 things to do. If the person is not ready to tell you why they want your help, why should I put my time into that person when I can just go work, do my office work, do my
right.
social work, I can do anything. If I am answering to you, if I'm accepting your request and getting back to you,
Mm-hmm.
it's because you've exactly told me what you want, and I value that you are valuing my time. So
Right.
that part, and I tell you, it really helps. I have
Mm-hmm.
connected to so many senior people that I thought will never get back to me, but the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I just asked for 5 minutes of the time and I exactly wrote the one question that I want to talk about, that
Right.
made them give me their 5 minutes, and I used those 5 minutes in every interview that I've given. So it's
Right.
everything is connected, if you see.
Right. So true. I think, and you have to effectively use everybody's time and your own time as well, right? So
Correct.
why do you want to spend more time just sending out requests and not getting the conversion, right? Like
Exactly, the
it's,
conversion
it's
rate. You come back to product, the metrics, the conversion rate.
right, exactly. So just optimize for that particularly personalized message that you want to send out. It will take, let's say, 5 minutes to curate that message, or maybe half an hour to curate that message, but that is going to increase your conversion rates. It is going to help you a
Correct,
lot in connecting with a lot of good folks at senior level,
correct.
right?
And you can
And
also use that template for 10 different messages, right? It's
right,
not necessary you put 30 minutes in curating every different message. Once I have a basic template and I want to connect, say, with 5 people from your company, I'll use the
exactly.
same message and change the name. Then if my
Mhm.
question changes and company changes, then I'll probably curate another message. So
Right.
you're basically saving your own time too, right?
Right, exactly. I think templatizations and like spending that half an hour is the initial investment. Then you can use that
Correct,
same message to like hundreds of people and you can get a
correct,
response. Yeah,
correct.
right,
So well started, I mean, well begun is half done. So that comes
right.
into picture.
Yeah, so true. Yeah. And then since you mentioned that you have to be part of the lot of events, like these are explicitly for networking and learning. So try to reach out to people, try to
Correct,
look for it, like what are the events happening, what are these conferences happening, because these are the pure places where you can learn
correct,
and network with a lot of good folks coming from different
correct.
backgrounds of the industry. Right.
So once again, just to add to your point, you don't have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I did this because I wanted to get an edge because I was coming from a non-technical background. I have
Mm-hmm.
so many people, I know so many people who haven't done any of this, but they are such brilliant minds. They exactly know what and how to get into. So they did it without it. So once again, coming back to my point, no secret sauce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Networking events are going to help you. Doing
Right.
that or not is up to you, but it
Right.
certainly adds some level of expertise, thinking, and all of that to what you're going to do further. So it's not a have, but it's a good to do, is what
Right.
I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I think everything that you do, let's say adding just a note to their connection message or attending a conference,
It
these are like
helps.
optional things, but yeah, definitely it's going to help a lot.
Exactly. It's optional, but it helps. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
And I would also, even when applying to companies in India, or I know some people who did not, or who do not uh, send in the cover letter because it clearly mentions optional, but the resume is a mandatory asterisk, right?
Right.
So even though it's optional, and even though there's a strong chance nobody will open it because it's a blob of essay on a A4 page, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
helps. It just
Right.
helps. You don't know who will read it, if they will read it or not, but just doing one additional step gives you an edge. So yeah.
Right. Just find a way where you can stand out with hundreds of applicants and that will be your one power, right?
Correct, correct,
At
correct,
least do at least do all the things that are still in under your purview and like whatever you can do it with your chances, right? So
correct, 100%.
that's the game.
So folks, with this we come to the end of part 1 of this video. I hope आपको ये video काफ़ी अच्छी लगी होगी, where we discussed about her application process, how she was doing good with the networking part of it, what was her learning so far. And tomorrow we will be dropping with the part 2 where she will explain more about her workings and different learnings there as well. Stay tuned to this channel and subscribe it if you have not. And अगर वीडियो अच्छी लगी तो like करें and comment में tell me what you want to know next, who do you want to bring more guests around, and till then, take care. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.